Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. When you get into a tight place and everything goes against you, till it seems as though you could not hang on a minute longer, never give up then, for that is just the place and time that the tide will turn. The bravest thing I ever did was continuing my life when I wanted to die. It's so hard to talk when you want to kill yourself. That's above and beyond everything else, and it's not a mental complaint, it's a physical thing, like it's physically hard to open your mouth and make the words come out. They don't come out smooth and in conjunction with your brain the way normal people's words do. They come out in chunks as if from a crushed ice dispenser. You stumble on them as they gather behind your lower lip. So you just keep quiet. To anyone out there who's hurting, it's not a sign of weakness to ask for help. It's a sign of strength. We cannot tear out a single page of our life, but we can throw the whole book in the fire. Anyone desperate enough for suicide should be desperate enough to go to creative extremes to solve problems, elope at midnight, stow away on the boat to New Zealand and start over, do what they always wanted to do but were afraid to try. Never, never, never give up. But in the end one needs more courage to live than to kill himself. All things are difficult before they are easy. On average, since the urge to kill myself isn't so strong that I actually kill myself, the world is worth living in. Suicide. A sideways word, a word that people whisper and mutter and cough, a word that must be squeezed out behind cupped palms or murmured behind closed doors. It was only in dreams that I heard the word shouted, screamed. Hope is a necessity for normal life and the major weapon against the suicide impulse. The great thing about suicide is that it's not one of those things you have to do now or you lose your chance. I mean, you can always do it later. When people kill themselves, they think they're ending the pain, but all they're doing is passing it on to those they leave behind. That's the thing about suicide. Try as you might to remember how a person lived his life, you always end up thinking about how he ended it. Nothing in my life has ever made me want to commit suicide more than people's reaction to my trying to commit suicide. Suicide doesn't solve your problems. It only makes them infinitely, uncountably worse. To write poetry and to commit suicide, apparently so contradictory, had really been the same, attempts at escape. Killing myself was a matter of such indifference to me that I felt like waiting for a moment when it would make some difference. No one ever committed suicide while reading a good book, but many have tried while trying to write one. In most cases, suicide is a solitary event and yet it has often far-reaching repercussions for many others. It is rather like throwing a stone into a pond, the ripples spread and spread. There are far, far better things ahead than anything we leave behind. It is always consoling to think of suicide, in that way one gets through many a bad night. To run away from trouble is a form of cowardice and, while it is true that the suicide braves death, he does it not for some noble object but to escape some ill.